What's up, everybody? This is Aarav from Prolo, and today I'm going to be doing a roleplay on the Principles of Entrepreneurship section, so you guys can get a better understanding of what a good states roleplay looks like, and how you can best perfect your study methods to do the best possible that you can do at state. So today I'm going to be using Prolo.ai to judge and give me feedback from scoring, and also generate a roleplay to do. So you can go to that website right now, it's up here, and basically Prolo is a all-inclusive suite of DECA tools backed by AI. We have analytics, we have roleplay generation, roleplay scoring, we have an exams feature, we have an AI tutor feature, and many, many more. Lifetime membership is only $15, and it's highly recommended by hundreds of students in the DECA community. I'll be using this roleplay in the Principles of Entrepreneurship category, and the instructional area is information management. So here is the performance indicators over here. You can take a second to read through those, and then down here is the event situation. So take a couple seconds to read through that as well. And I'm going to start my roleplay in 3, 2, 1. Hey John, so nice to meet you. My name's Aarav, and I'm the founder behind Scoops of Seaside Sea. Our ice cream parlor is perfectly located on the bustling main street, which is why we attract many tourists. And I also know that's the main reason why your private equity firm wants to invest in us. However, I also understood that you brought up the concern that to ensure long-term success and steady revenue, we must also appeal to local residents. So today, I'm going to just briefly explain how I'll use an effective information management strategy to determine additional menu items that cater to both tourists and locals. I'll break down my approach by a 4-step framework. First, I'll discuss the nature of information management. Second, I'll assess information needs. Third, I'll obtain needed information efficiently. And then fourth, I'll evaluate quality and the source of information. So I want to keep this super brief, and I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's just dive straight into it. So starting with discussing the nature of information management. As we both know, information management is the systematic process of organizing, analyzing, and making sure all the data is right to support smart decisions, right? No business can ever work without having a strong information management team. So specifically for my company, Scoops of Seaside City, it means having a reliable system so we can get our customer feedback and market trends and then local demographic details to apply it best to our system. So this process, as we both know, involves gathering both quantitative and qualitative data, both like sales figures and survey results, as well as customer comments on social media and other things of that nature. So by integrating these multiple sources of information, I think it will help us create much more of a clearer picture of what our customers, which are both tourists and locals, are looking for, so we can have a happy medium. For example, at our current location, we track ice cream flavor popularity through point of sale data and social media mentions as well. And this same method would also help us identify which new menu items might resonate with local residents, which is something I highly recommend doing. Additionally, I think reaching out to or also analyzing local competitors in our region that residents really like to go to will help us with our information management as well. Currently, I'm really planning to implement a centralized digital dashboard that will automatically aggregate data from our surveys, social media channels, and local market research reports, and to just allow us to have a more centralized, streamlined way to look at information and get the most impact out of it. I've already hired a freelance team of 3 coders to work on this, and this is a mock-up that they've sent me. So here you can see, initially we have our dashboard page here. We can see specific infographics on the data. So for example, here we have a pie chart, and then we can see recommendations and options that pop up based on that information, and then different tabs here. I think having those recommendations offered by AI is really good to help us get on the right track to make informed decisions. This is something that will be coming in the next couple of months, and hopefully even next couple of weeks if lucky. And it's something that I really hope to integrate as soon as possible. The second thing that I want to do is assess information needs. So I think assessing these needs are particularly important just because like identifying the specific data required to make these informed decisions is all about our business strategy. So in our case, we need to know what our local residents prefer in an ice cream menu on top of what our like tourists prefer. So for example, we need to analyze trends and things that are happening in local restaurants and other places to just make sure that we have an informed idea and decision. So this involves, determining our key data points such as favorite flavors, dietary preferences like dairy-free or like low sugar options, and then price sensitivity, and even the types of treats that are currently trending among locals. Like I said, we can do this by looking at TikTok, social medias for popular trends, and then making sure we integrate it effectively into our ice cream and products. For example, I know that a lot of movies have been coming out, and a lot of companies have been on top of the trends with those. For example, Duolingo. Duolingo was one of a company that it was a company that took very like a strategic advantage over other companies in a similar scene based on the show Squid Game. When Squid Game came out, we can remember that the whole world was obsessing over it. And Duolingo, they would get their owl, Duo, to dance in a Squid Game costume and take advantage of that on social media. So it's all about getting that data, assessing that data with our dashboard that we'll have soon, and then using that data in a very smart way based on AI recommendations and our whole gist of like reasoning. So to ensure we cover all of the bases, I created a detailed research plan just to outline the specific questions for our focus groups, and surveys and specific things we need to keep track for. So this plan will include our demographic segmentation here by age, and then other factors as well. And based on this stuff, we'll tailor our findings to local different age groups, and lifestyles within the community. The next thing that I want to talk about is how we can obtain needed information efficiently. So I think this is probably one of the most important aspects to our new information management push because using methods and then tools like that will help us get information efficiently will help us gather all the required data quickly and accurately, especially as a startup. We don't want to waste a lot of time and resources because obviously we're still trying to catch up to other local top tier businesses in the region, and we just want to make sure that we are utilizing all we can to get that done fast and efficiently as well. Because one thing that I found from working in a startup a couple years ago in San Francisco was that startups, especially smaller ones and local businesses as well, are all about scaling and pivoting. It's just a two-step cycle. So being able to get efficient data and apply it efficiently is obviously of essence, and being able to shift from that is also of essence. So I'll make sure to employ both primary and secondary research methods just to reach this and get a medium that is as effective as possible. So our primary research will include online surveys, in-person interviews at local events, and then focus groups with residents that are randomly pulled from our community. And then secondary research will include analyzing existing market reports, local government data, and insights from industry publications as well. I think a great example is to launch an online survey via social media and email newsletters targeting our local residents. And I think simultaneously reviewing those reports from local chambers of commerce to understand broader market trends like of essence as well. I used to live in Naperville, and in Naperville we had a local area chamber of commerce that published reports every quarter, and those were so beneficial looking at and very good for my private consulting firm. I think to streamline this process, the best thing that I will do is to use invest in a cloud-based research management platform that will consolidate all those responses and data in just one place. And that tool will allow me and then other employees to get real-time analysis and just help us identify all these patterns as quick as possible. So I've narrowed down the options to three main things. The first one is SEMrush, the next one is Salesforce, and the third one is Prims. Here are just the prices, just a general understanding and plan of what I want to do. I want to go for Prims because it is the cheapest, but the quality is the highest. For example, you can see interactive charts, and the dashboard there is super easy to integrate with Teams, which is of essence when scaling. Any questions on that? Okay, sounds good. The last thing that I want to do is evaluate quality and then the source of information. So evaluating the quality in the source means that ensuring the data we collect is accurate, reliable, and comes from credible sources as well. So I want to make sure I make it my first priority to assess each data source. So for primary research, this means verifying the survey responses are representative of our target market. So basically filtering out people who don't like ice cream or people who are not local residents. And then for secondary research, I'll make sure to prioritize data from reputable sources like government reports, like the local area chamber of commerce, industry journals, and then established market research firms as well. I mean, just to throw out an example there, if our survey indicates that a strong preference for like locally inspired flavors, I'll just make sure to cross-check that with finding local food trend reports and then customer reviews on platforms like Yelp, and then also Chamber of Commerce reports as well, because this like triangulation will just confirm the accuracy of our results, making sure that we're as effective as possible, like I said, and we have to pivot less, but we're still moving in the right direction day by day by day. And I mean, I think the best way to do that is just keep it simple. No need for any flashy algorithms, flashy dashboards for this one, but rather just a simple quality checklist just to make sure that everything gets approved by me or some of our employees or interns to make sure that our data is of the best quality. So, for example, some of this could be, like criteria such as sample size, data freshness, and source credibility. And by using it, we'll just be able to quickly flag any data that doesn't meet our standards and then focus on the most reliable information. And that's pretty much all I have for today. Do you have any questions, comments, and concerns for me? So now I want to take the time and give you guys an analysis of how I did, some of my thoughts, and what I think I could have done better. So starting with the good, I think my introduction was extremely good. I addressed myself really well, with confidence, and I think that's probably one of the more important things in DECA. You always want to come in with confidence, and I think honestly that's probably one of the best tips, just because it sets the tone for the rest of your presentation, not only for you and your judge, not only for the judge, but you as well, right? If you're going in confident and you know you're there to win, you're there to perform well, then it just carries throughout the role play. I also think that my formatting was really, really great just because of the way I went through with the DECA acronym. But I also do think that what was even better about my role play was just the timing. I was able to get to questions very quite like at a very comfortable pace. I got there at around, I think, 8 minutes, which is quite good, and I can have the last 2 minutes for questions. And I think having that like pressure out is really, really great as well. Now I'm gonna touch on some things that I think I did badly on. I think one thing that definitely could have been better was my eye contact, right? I was looking all over the place to think of ideas, and I think that's something that a lot of students should not do and they catch themselves doing sometimes at state, which is it can be nerve-wracking at times, but just make sure you're always looking at your judge, because like if I'm looking and speaking, it doesn't really show confidence and that I know this stuff, and kind of seems like I'm making it up on the spot. And I think yeah, eye contact is really, really huge. As well as I think more creativity elements that are more cohesive. I think I showed a lot of good examples. By far, the dashboard was really good, I thought. And a lot of the data, but I need to be more unique because a lot of kids can do that. And in DECA, it's really important to find ways to stand out.